I know it seems kind of weird, but it seems like we've been talking for a minute here, but literally it's been over a year since I started the 820 podcast episodes. But I know that I'm recording this and you're choosing to download it, but maybe it's my optimism, but it feels like we've been talking for a while. So I appreciate those of you who have been with me from episode 1 through episode 300. And as we continue on this journey, I sincerely have to thank all of you who are joining me for the first time today or have been consistent in listening in whenever you get a chance to the latest episodes. Today's topic was kind of born out of a conversation I had with a dear friend of mine, Miss Gina. And we were discussing, or actually she was discussing, the lack of depth and emotion in not just how I communicate, but also how I play my trumpet. She was saying, your sound is good, hear the notes, hear the melody, but I don't hear you. And I was saying, I still to this day can't figure out how to do that. But she went further to say, if you can reflect on a past period of trauma or danger or grief, maybe that'll come through your music. And maybe I'm just that short-suited on the emotional side of anything that I do. Not that I don't have emotions or feelings. As I said in many episodes before on that thing called love and how to love not just you out there in the world, but how to love myself more. This new lesson that appeared to me just a few months ago from my son, who taught me the love everyone baseline. But when she says, Gina asked me to consider responding from a memory of trauma, maybe that'll come out in my music. So that's kind of the context for this discussion today. I'm going to try and use that and use it as a definition or a new baseline, but maybe that's where resilience comes from. I'm going to use that discussion with her as a possible send-off point or demarcation into another way to tap into that thing called resilience, but maybe going back a little bit deeper to where that initial small seed of resilience got planted in me. So maybe for this podcast today, and probably this might take 3 or 4 parts to get through this one. But I'm going to use this one called A Memory of Betrayal or Anger. And using that maybe as the foundation for me to play better music and maybe to present a stronger, deeper podcast as much as I can in the few moments we have together in our 500 seconds in each episode. So again, that's my proposition, my initial position. Maybe that could be, at least for me, I'm not sure if it makes sense to you. Maybe for me, that's where that resilience comes from, where it emanates from, where it bubbles up from. Not necessarily you need to have a traumatic experience or a lovely experience, but I wonder if that's a possibility. I'm sure we all go through life through challenges, through difficulties, and they're not always pleasant. They can be dangerous, they can be life-threatening, they could be quite frustrating or disappointing. I guess the ones you go through that make you happy or you find joy or peace or calm in, I guess those are good references too. You can play from that perspective too. But I wonder if maybe that's going a little bit deeper into myself. Maybe that's what I need to not avoid or suppress, maybe to embrace. Or, as my son Karan told me, not just love everyone. When it comes to you personally, Dad, love everything about you. And coming full circle again, maybe that's how I start developing as a habit, a good one, about loving myself always. Everything about me always. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. Maybe that's what I should be moving towards. Quite a brilliant young man that I know by biology I am his father, his dad. But what he teaches me on an almost daily basis as a grown man at 22 years of age and wisdom, it amazes me that what comes out of him is not from me. I would never ever claim that. But I will absolutely relish, applaud, and grow that humble side of me that I know I didn't give that to him. He was created to do what he does, way beyond me and his mother. But anyway, I'm kind of digressing here as the introduction to this thing about a memory of betrayal and anger. Anger to do what you do, whether it be music, writing, dancing, construction work, white collar work, or on the street. I wonder if this is a way that might relate to you and what you do on your journey. I only hope so. And again, I've taken quite a bit of time on this first part of this discussion as an introduction, but also, I guess, a way for me to start learning, receiving, observing the thoughts about this topic that I seriously hadn't thought about until just now. And now we're looking at another 4 parts to get through this and relate to you an experience that may be towards the beginning of my understanding about this thing called resilience. So at least we'll start there with maybe call this episode today the teaser, the preview of what's going to come up in the next discussion on this thing about referencing a memory of betrayal and anger to push you forward and into and onto your journey towards resilience. Let's think about that and come back to it in the next episode. Until then, stay current, stay present. You know what time it is. It's 8:20.